Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Bjornholm, where, as promised, I've switched over to my keyboard, which is why you can hear the clicking. Oh yes, world's most annoying keyboard. And it is actually quite loud. I'm going to be doing fertilizing today with this T6 if it wants to line up properly. And I'm going to be using the GPS mod if it wants to load up. There we go. So I'm going to flip this course by 90 degrees. Something for Firefox has stopped working, which I'm surprisingly okay with. So I'm going to turn on GPS here. Just hide the console. I know what's going on, surprisingly enough. And I'm just going to fertilize these fields now with GPS. I do have everything still running as it was. The aim by the end of this episode is to get the bale wrapper. If I can get that, I can get started on baling. Now when I return in the next episode, I hope well, I will have all the fields ploughed because I'm going to be fertilizing them all and trying to get started with baling. If I can get them all ploughed up, I can set a courseplay worker to cultivate them all, and I can hijack two of the T6s to get started on baling and hay, because I know there is a pasture out by the roadside that I can use to create hay and to head up and windrow up and get started on that. Now the beeps are letting me know, you can hear them as well. The beeps with GPS mod are just letting me know what's going on. The double beep means I'm near the end of the row. I'm just going to raise up this, not quite high enough. I can do some reverse ninja nonsense. The double beep means I'm near the end of the row, and I'm just going to play it here now. This beep means GPS engaged. That one means disengaged. So I'm just going to engage GPS now to bring me up onto the field. Now I do still have control over power, so I can take my finger off W and it'll drop power. GPS is just doing all the steering for me, which isn't, it's not much what I'm fertilizing, but it is helpful. You can hear there, I'm at the end of the field, or nearing it. The unfortunate thing is, GPS hasn't quite got the hang of field shapes, so I do have to do another pass on this field. In fact, I'll do it next time out. So I'm going to start on field 25 here. You can see the ploughing wasn't completely done, so I'm going to bring back up the console for GPS. Use courseplay to get the mouse cursor. You can use courseplay and GPS at the same time to do that nonsense. Oops, I missed a bit. You can use courseplay and GPS at the same time. Not on the same, you can't courseplay something and then GPS it to the course, but you can use courseplay to work these buttons, which is kind of nice. I know in 2013 some mods needed to be worked separately from courseplay, and you couldn't use courseplay to bring up the the mouse cursor and do that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna have to, oh dear, I was going to try and get this course running, or this lane running the other way, but I'm gonna bodge it towards the end. If I tried to run this lane downwards, I would just smack into trees and get nowhere, so I'm gonna manually do that bit over there. So GPS mod is great because it does speed up the process of fertilizing just a bit and makes it a lot more efficient. You can see I'm covering almost the entire width of the sprayer, and it does work with the pellet spreaders as well. Now that was because that happened, that weird swing was because I was going a bit too quickly for GPS to cope, and it couldn't quite figure out what on earth it needed to do, so the front end went a bit wonky. So this isn't the most exciting footage in the world, I know, but it is a good display of how you can use GPS to just speed things up a small bit. Now I know I could switch the course 90 degrees, and I might do that actually. I'm just gonna get these 3 or 4 lanes, yeah, these 3 lanes all lined up so I can swing it 90 degrees in a moment. That's probably close enough that it makes no difference. And is that covering the bit that I have? I'm going to swing it 90 degrees so that I can actually do that bottom bit without smacking into trees every single time. It's probably not the most efficient thing to do, but it is the best idea for this kind of field where there are trees blocking the way. And I'm just going to do something that you really shouldn't do, especially, well, something wasteful, and I'm just going to make sure that all of this is covered up nicely like that, because it does look like GPS, yeah, GPS did miss a bit, a tiny bit, but it's a bit nonetheless. And I'm going to do is I'm going to change the course to 90 degrees now. Now that that's done, it should have made it run east-west rather than north-south. And I know this isn't this really isn't the most efficient way to be doing this, but it's the only way I can ensure that I get the entire field done without slamming into a tree. So by flipping it 90 degrees now, I am wasting quite a bit of fertilizer, especially on the left hand side of the tractor, but it does mean that I have slightly more control over what's going on now. This guy's finished work, which is awesome, so I'm going to stop him and set him off in field 29, which I already have a course for, I believe. Yes, southwest to north. So there's the start point over here. That's the end point. The start point is actually on this side. He's set up from first waypoint. That is awesome. And I'll clean up the ploughed areas at the end once all the fields are ploughed. I can in fact buy the Ursus bale wrapper now, but I'm not going to for the moment. I'm going to wait. And can I swing this around without smashing into the tree? Kind of. Kind of. Yes. Now, there we go. So, I could set up an auto turn on this, which basically means the tractor will automatically... it does what it says on the tin. The tractor will automatically turn at the end of the field. But I've found that you're actually better off manually turning it. The auto turn tends to set off before the end of the field, so you end up with missed patches. Depending on how quickly I can get this done, I might be able to start cultivating with GPS. Now, I want to be able to do some things manually. I'm not going to do everything with course play. That'd be too easy for me. I want to be able to do some things manually because, one, it lets me keep track of everything at the same time, and two, it gives me something to do. Now while I'm editing and rendering, I might just leave course play running all of the tractors because it's easier. Now, I should probably do a tutorial on this, but you can set this up to course play as well. You can set course play, you can set your fertilizer up to course play. I haven't done that yet with this at all, but I know you can, and I know how to. I just haven't, because again, it's easier to, well, I prefer doing it manually now. That's what, 25 and 24 and 25 done. That's awesome. Next two to do are 30 and 29. 29 I'm not going to do until course play is finished with the ploughing. But what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to refill the fertilizer spreader. Or the herbicide sprayer, as it probably is. I'm using it for fertilizer because it's slightly easier. So let's get this over here. I went the wrong way, but that'll do. This is one of the rare episodes where I am using my keyboard and mouse because it's a bit easier. Now what I'm going to do while that's happening is I'm going to get the Ursus Z586. A bale wrapper packs hay bales in foil so they can ferment into silage. And now I own it. Good. The next thing I'm going to buy, and I've already decided it, is a new tractor, and I'm going to get a John Deere 6810 probably. I may get a top-down 500 cultivator, but it does need quite a lot of power. There's a part of me also thinking, hey, maybe I might get the Raider Rapid C, which is only 3 meters, but it is no-till, so I would only have to plough the fields. I'm kind of in two minds about that, because it's not really giving me any extra seeding width, but it is saving me time because it's a one-pass machine. With cultivating it's 2-pass because I still have to cultivate before I can seed. So I'm going to unfold the sprayer now. Just set it up here. Wait for it to unfold fully before I set off or turn it on or do anything, because I don't want to be wasting fertilizer. He says as he sets it up to drive down the middle of the road and only get a small bit of a field, but I know what I'm talking about roughly. Now hopefully I won't have to do some sort of weird body job over with those trees. By the way, if you're doing YouTube with Farm Sim, having course play is great because you can point things out. Like, hopefully I won't have to bodge anything with these trees over here, and look at this up here. Look at how quickly I'm going, and these two tractors are going exactly the speed I said. This one's doing its thing. It's a lot easier with course play because I can use it as a pointer as well. I can use my actual cursor as a pointer. And it's only when I'm using OBS that I realise how bad 30 FPS is, or when I'm looking at my pointer in XSplit even, that I realise how bad 30 FPS really is, because I'm looking at my main monitor and I can see the cursor's moving relatively smoothly, and then I look over at XSplit and it's kind of jumping about because it's running at 30 FPS and not 60. Similarly with Farm Sim, I can actually see the difference. And it's a difference that you can only see if you're looking at 30 versus 60 side by side. The T4 is in traffic. What's causing the T4 to be in traffic? Where is the T4? Oh, I knew that would happen eventually. I knew that would happen sooner or later. But if you got, say, OBS or XSplit or something, and if you set it to 30 FPS mode, a locked 30 FPS, and run Farm Sim at 60 or something at 60, and you got two monitors, look at it side by side and you can really see the difference between 30 and 60 FPS. If I could, I'd have a 30 versus 60 comparison, but I don't want a big XSplit watermark all over my video, so I'm gonna stick to 30 FPS. I don't think I can get it any higher anyway, if I wanted to. Did I say OBS watermark? I meant XSplit. I know most people say, oh, well, you can't really tell the difference between 30 and 60. Yes, you can if you look at them side by side. There is such a big difference. 60 is so much smoother, and I prefer to see kind of 120-ish. Just for reference, your eyes see it's somewhere in the region of 170,000 hertz, I believe. Your eyes just have, if you were to translate it into a frame rate, it'd be somewhere in the region of 10,000 frames per second, I think. And if you were to translate the resolution of your eyes into megapixels, which is millions of pixels, it's somewhere in the region of 170,000 megapixels. Your eyes are absolutely amazing. Now if you got some sight problems, that means that your eyes are just out of focus. Mine are. I should wear glasses, I don't. I'm long-sighted, which means that my eyes are actually ovals. Normal eyes are kind of this shape roughly, more or less this shape of the circle. Mine are a bit ovoid. They're I think my optometrist that I go to said they look like rugby balls or American footballs. So if you've seen hand egg or rugby, and I'm not calling American football because it's mainly in the hands and it's egg shaped. Rugby is rugby. Rugby is a proper sport where men can get badly injured and not give a damn about it. But if you've ever seen one of those balls, they're pretty much egg shaped, and that's kind of the shape my eyes are, apparently. My eyeballs, might I say. So I'm long-sighted, so things near me I can't see to save my life. Things far away, oh yeah. Which is why I sit unbelievably, a bit, somewhat insanely far back from my computer, I think. I see a lot of people, they're right up in their desk, and you know, their face is pretty much in their monitor. If I did that, I wouldn't be able to see a damn thing. Having my eyesight, as weird as it is, actually helps me do this because I'm sitting back to allow my mic in front of me. It also means that my eyes are almost perfectly focused on the screen as well. So we're almost finished with this episode, I know. I'm really just turning these episodes into podcasts. I apologise. There's not a whole lot for me to talk about. I mean, the farming is still happening. I am still in the farming of the happening. Happening is farming, simulating of the farming and the simulator. If I was completely talking about just the game the whole time, I'd run out of things to say within about 5 minutes in this kind of episode. So it's probably better off that I turn it into a podcast. I'm going to waste some fertilizer, screw it. Yeah, things are things, and yolks are yolks, and things are yolks as well. But are all yolks things? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm quite pleased with how the channel's going. I would like to see more new viewers. I'm kind of seeing the statistics are kind of leveling off, which kind of makes me think that the same people are watching my videos, which, if you do watch all my videos, I'm not complaining. I'm really not complaining if you watch all my videos. I would like to see the channel grow, which is why I'm saying it's not the greatest thing that I'm kind of seeing stagnant growth figures and stagnant view figures, because it means the channel is more or less gonna stay the same forever, and that's not what I want. I want to see this channel growing. I'd like to be able to do this full time, or as full time as I possibly can. Yeah, it's kind of a dream of mine to be able to be a quote-unquote professional casual gamer, because I know Farm Sim is not a hardcore game. Where's the full button? There we go. Gonna refill the fertilizer tank again. We're up to 26,000 euros, which is beautiful. And we still have 52,000 litres of wheat in storage. So that is tasty beans. Now, I know I'm wasting money by doing this. All of these things at once, essentially. The only thing I'm not running at the moment is the harvester, which is kind of beautiful. That's full now. Good. That's why I was flipping around between vehicles. It was just to make sure it was full by the time I got back to it. And to check on everything. I've just had a look at my phone. It's telling me we have hit 20 minutes. So, I'm going to call this an episode. I am going to be looking for the gold coins off screen to try and get 10 of them. Now, I can't remember where the 10 I've found, or the few I've found so far are, but I can tell you that I have... where is it? Oh, it's in statistics, isn't it? I have gold coins, 3 gold coins, so I'm looking for 7 more. Once I find those 7, we'll do kind of a weird special episode where I get a pickup or something and drive around collecting the other 90. Because in Farm Sim 15, once you get 10, it shows you where they all are. Which I think is a bit of a cop-out, but it's something that I like because it means I don't have to look for 100 things. I'll find a map or something and pick up 7 random ones. On a completely unrelated note, I'm really glad I'm on normal now because it's nice to have money actually flowing in at a reasonable rate, even using the Brantners. Whereas before, in the previous series, I did need the biggest trailers in the game essentially to see money coming in. Look at that, that's beautiful. Look at that money flowing in. I don't know if you can see because I know I've got a watermark over these videos to stop people stealing them, but hey. I'm going to end the episode here, 2 minutes late, as usual. I'll let you know I've been Rainbow Dave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 15 on Bjornholm. In the next episode we'll be starting to cultivate and seed all of this lovely Scandinavian landscape. I'll have the sails finished up by then and all the ploughing done. And all the ploughing cleanup done. Because that's all things that need to be done before I can continue. Well, I want to get done before I can continue. The sales aren't particularly crucial, but it is nice to have more than one tractor able to work at any given time. I'll be doing cultivation and seeding via courseplay. I will be, hopefully, down by the roadside with a couple of T6s. Maybe a T4 and a T6, because I've realised I probably need 2 T6s to cultivate and seed. I'll be down by a roadside somewhere with equipment for mowing, tedding and baling. And windrowing as well. Actually, I'm not going to be trying to pick up everything. The ultimate aim in this series, by the way, is not to get any particular field, though field 22 would be nice. The ultimate aim in this series is, I'm going to turn off the sprayer to show you, to get something that I'll be moving on to the next series with, and that is the Krone Big M500. If I can get this, I'll be moving on to the next map with it. Because the next map I'm going to be setting up, or the next map I'm going to be using, I'm going to be doing big time animal stuff and grass stuff. It's probably going to be a British style map. I might use an American style map as well and put the same equipment on. But either way, the next map is going to be big time animals. I don't know what part of the spiel I've missed, so I'm just going to say goodbye now. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye!